Everyone loves Stoicism right now. It's the hot topic. Everyone's talking about it. We're watching all the videos, following all the accounts, reading all the quotes, reading all the books. We've got all the Stoic books and we're all learning about it. And it's good. And it seems like it can help our lives, but we're not really seeing how to incorporate it into our everyday life. You know, what if someone's rude to us? How do we actually be Stoic? Like, what are the actual procedures? What are the steps you would take on someone being rude to you and you responding as a Stoic? Now, I'm going to explain how if someone is rude to you, you can be Stoic. And I know this because I've been practicing Stoicism for over a decade and I've faced many situations like this. And it was kind of second nature to me, but recently, or quite a while ago, I was trying to think, how can I explain this to people so people can also respond like a Stoic? And I kept thinking, how do I respond? And it took a lot of thinking, like, because in the heat of the moment, you just do it, it's natural. But I think I've got it in a way that I can describe to you. And next time someone annoys you, you'll be able to respond as a Stoic. And the reason I chose this topic is because we all get annoyed by someone. There's always annoying circumstances and people in this world. And it would be nice to be able to respond to this correctly. But I think this topic of someone annoying you is so transferable to things in life, to things annoying you, bad things happening, people harming you, people saying horrible things to you, tragedies, difficulties. You know, I feel like if you can understand how to respond to a person trying to annoy you, then you can pretty much respond as a Stoic in any circumstance. That is the goal. Today's episode is powered by Huel. Let's jump into the episode. You have the event. Someone annoys you. Someone at work says something annoying. And there we are. Normally, you respond by rising up to the occasion, getting angry at them, fighting with them, causing drama. And in that circumstance, you let go of your character in a way. You get more irritated, you get more angry, and you make the situation worse. Now it turns into a full-blown argument. It could result in you losing your job, result in you losing friends, all these kind of things. But then it can also carry on for the next day. You're still annoyed, or the week after you're still annoyed. Now you hate this person. Now they say he who angers you controls you. Now they have control over you. They live in your head rent-free. So that's how you normally respond. Or maybe you ignore them, but you go home and you're annoyed. You're like, they said this thing about me. I can't believe it. I hate them. I'm so angry. I'm so mad. What if they're right? What if I am an idiot? Why did they say this sort of thing? So you're not responding in the best way. How would you respond? So this is as a Stoic. The person says something annoying to you. They've said something mean, and you've heard this. Firstly, we talk about the 3 A's. The average person normally has just enough room to do the 2 A's. So that becomes awareness. Someone says something rude to you, then the action. And that is it. We go from awareness to action. And it's very common because someone hurts our feelings, we act. And normally that's acting upon the hurt feelings. So it's normally anger. We act out of anger, or we act out of sadness. We act out of anger, we get angry at them and we fight them. We act out of sadness, we retreat and move away sad. But there is a 3rd A, which is assessment. So the first thing you do when someone is rude to you is you assess it. You assess what's actually happened, what they've actually said. You assess their words, their meaning. You assess, could they have an intention? Then you assess, do I need to get involved? What could this mean for me? What could being involved, how could that ruin my life? What would be the best actions for me to take? And then you take the action. And at the start, it's kind of difficult. And we also don't know what to base our actions off. But over time, you get better at this. You get better. And that space, it's only a few seconds, but it feels like eternity. And you can live in that space and create the best assessment, so then you can take better action. But if you just also assess it like Marcus Aurelius assessed it, he just sort of broke it down. I remember I used to always, when I used to walk home, like people would drive past and shout things out the window. shout stupid things. And I remember at one point it used to annoy me, and I used to be so annoyed. And I don't know why. I'd get so angry with these people just driving by, heckling stuff. It was normally builders leaning out their window, saying stuff, trying to offend me, trying to get a reaction. And I remember one day a builder shouted something, and I just found it humorous because it was after a while of learning Stoicism. Because number one, you look at it and you go, this is just a guy driving past who thinks it's acceptable to lean out the window and shout something. They're probably just trying to make themselves laugh. They're trying to get a reaction out of me. Well, better not give them a reaction because then they've won, they've got what they wanted. But their life's boring. They're just leaning out window, shouting abuse at people. You can assess it and sort of break it down that way. I remember it made me laugh because I thought it's literally like they have so little control. It's like a dog barking out the window. You have these like a Great Dane will lean out the window and bark. That's what some of these people are like. It's kind of humorous. And when you can look at it from a humorous standpoint like this, that these people these people at work that say these mean things because, your work was better than theirs, or you dressed better than them, or the boss gave you a good comment, and they say these mean things. It's literally like a school kid that's annoyed because you've got a better toy or better shoes, or the teacher said something good about you. That's literally what it's like. And it's kind of humorous in a way, but also you can start to feel sorry for them, that they're undeveloped in this way. They haven't developed their moral standings yet. It's okay to find it humorous because it helps you, but maybe one day you'll get to the point where you actually want to help them. So you've made this assessment that helps you make better actions. But then you need to know what your actions need to be based off of, which is, as a Stoic or practicing Stoicism, you want to build your foundation, as this helps you in every way. And the foundation is based off of virtue, this thing you control: courage, wisdom, temperance, and justice. So you kind of want to understand this is who you are. You're a good person, and you follow the virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. So when these events happen, you think, am I going to act with courage? Am I going to act with wisdom? And am I going to act with temperance or justice? And you start to, when you base your actions off this, and you can maybe write them down, people get tattoos of them, or have a screensaver of this. This is the way you can, after making an assessment, you can react in a better way. So your reaction is based off a better assessment. And another easy way to do this, if you find it hard to focus on things that don't seem as tangible, ideas of virtue, it's quite hard to grasp them at the start. You can base yourself off of people, this idea of virtue modeling. So you pick people you really admire in this life. And no one's really perfect, but you pick someone like your parent or a teacher or some famous person, and you base your character off of them in a way. So the next time someone annoys you, someone tries to provoke you, you think, well, how would my mum respond in this way? How would this famous person respond in this way? How would my old teacher respond? And it gives you a foundation to work off. And it's a really good standing to work off, because eventually you don't have to think how they react. You become like that person. You develop your characteristics off of this person. So then you also have to understand what lies outside of your control and what lies within your control. The external world isn't in your control. So this rude person isn't in your control. And I know this doesn't sound very helpful, but the thing that disturbs us the most is actually us trying to control them. And we try to control them, and we think about them, and we ruminate on these ideas of how they should be, what they should have said, what they shouldn't have done. They've done it now. They're the person they are. And rude people are rude oftentimes. Rude people do rude things. Annoying people do annoying things. This is just outside of our control. But what is within our control is our internal world, how we respond to these rude things. And most of Stoicism comes down to this, is like looking after this internal world. And I think that is the most important thing you need to do. So this internal world of yours that you have full control over, number one, you need to be aware of what you control. So you control your internal world, how you respond to the externals, your opinions you form about it, the things you move towards, your desires, the things you move away from, your aversions, and your motivations. you control this internal works. So you need to be aware of that. But then you need to also focus on your internal world, on the character you are. You need to base it off of good. You want to build a good character that does good things. So you're aware of this internal world. And you need to guard this internal world. And the thing is, it comes back to this point that Epictetus made when someone was talking about going to these parties with bad people. And someone says, I can't, I have to attend. I have to attend, otherwise the emperor will kill me if I do not attend. And Epictetus said, well, then attend. I would rather face death. And why would he rather face death? And I'm not saying you have to go this extreme, but it's a really good example, because Epictetus said he wants to be like the purple thread. In the white toga, the purple thread makes it stand out just by being purple. So you want to become like this. You want to become the role model. I think this is the thing that helps me the most is, and you have to remember this, is you want to be a good person. A good person does good things. I remember one of my favorite ever quotes from a motivational video. If you want to be the man, you got to be the man. And I remember I used to use it when I was running. I'd be running for miles and miles. And I'd say that to myself. And I'd just think, if I want to be the person that works really hard, I have to be the person that works really hard. If you want to be the person that doesn't get annoyed in events, you have to be the person that doesn't get annoyed in events. And I know this sounds so silly, that to be the thing, you've got to be the thing. But once you take ownership of that and you understand that your character is based off of good, you also understand what you control in this world. And then you also understand that to be the thing, you have to be the thing. So if you want to be the person that doesn't get annoyed, you have to stop getting annoyed. And it's the only way to do it, because the problem we have in this life is we have dreams and ideas of who we want to be, and we just leave it there. And I actually think, this is a whole nother subject, so I won't go into it too much, that things like dreaming, things like, and I mean like daydreaming about who you want to be, things about visualizing and affirmations of the good person you are, oftentimes these can be used as procrastination to not actually be the person. So you stand in the mirror and say, I don't get annoyed, I don't get annoyed, I don't get annoyed. And you envision of this person of, I'm unshakable, they will never annoy me. And you write down in your journal, I'm this person that doesn't get annoyed. And what this does is this feels rewarding because you feel like you're making progress on a goal, but you're not actually being the person that doesn't get annoyed. And I often think this with affirmations. You sit in a mirror and tell yourself you're happy. You say, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy, I'm happy. But you're not actually telling yourself you're happy. You're telling yourself you're a person standing in a mirror that has to reaffirm that they feel happy, which can often actually be counterintuitive. If you genuinely don't believe these things and you're just telling yourself these things, then it can be counterintuitive. A quick word from our sponsor, Huel. I really like Huel. When I was writing my book, I was using Huel to power me through every single day. When I had my daily greens, when I had my meals, when I had my shakes, it stopped me from going to the shop, buying a load of rubbish, buying a load of unhealthy food, wasting loads of money. And these things do add up. Those quick journeys to the shop every day, the money adds up, the unhealthy foods add up, the wasted time adds up. So if I ever get those cravings, I grab a Huel and it fills my cravings. I feel good, it tastes delicious, it's quick and easy. And if you have any interest in the Huel products, then check the link in the description. Let's get back to the episode. The next thing you have to understand is that every day is part of the journey. You don't just restart the day and it's all said and done. Every day is part of your journey. Every day is part of this project you're working on, of building you up, building character that you are. I remember I describe it in my book actually as a game. You imagine this game called Stoicism, and you're presented with things in life. So late traffic, loss of job, annoying colleague, someone trying to offend you. You're presented with these things. Now, by winning or completing this mission in the correct way, like in a game, you're given a mission, you complete it, you get XP points and you level up. Well, being late in traffic, you don't react and get angry, you act with patience, you level up your patience, because this is true. It's the neural pathways. You start to access them and it gets easier at doing these things. You get better at being patient. And with someone trying to annoy you, if you think of it as a game, you get XP for not getting annoyed. You get XP for responding with courage or responding with wisdom. You level up your courage and wisdom. And I've always liked to see it as that way. And it's crazy when you think how valuable that is. When you think someone's trying to annoy you, if someone said to you, an outside force says, I'll give you $20, £20, 20 euros, whatever currency, I'll give you a small sum of money so that you don't get annoyed. If you don't get annoyed by them and you react in a correct way, I'll give you £20. And I think most of us will go, that person called me stupid. But if I don't respond to it and I respond in the right way, I get £20. I can do that. Think, actually, of what you actually get by responding in the correct way. You build your character. You make yourself a better person. You make yourself a wiser, a more courageous person. And then when you make this trade and say, well, would you rather have £20 or become a better version of yourself, a more courageous version of yourself, a more wise version of yourself, which would you rather have? And you say, well, I'd rather be a better version of myself. Easy. Because then I'll be a person that could probably live a happier life and become a person that might make more money. It's an easy trade-off when you think of it like that. So always think of it like that. That when you're in these situations, you're building your character. These little challenges are not bad things that are befalling you. Life's saying, like, here's an annoying person. Go, try win this mission. Try develop your character. Try learn from this. Here's a traffic jam. Try gain patience from this. It's just presenting you little things, challenges, so you can level up. Because the opposite of not facing these challenges and doing the right thing, it's like you're in a game and you're just walking around in circles. You're playing whatever game and you're walking around in circles. But when you face these challenges in the correct way and you respond and you win the mission, you level up and you keep developing, you get better and better and you progress. And what is the point of progressing? Well, life will always throw you suffering and challenges, even if you do nothing, even if you sit in a bubble your whole life, life will throw you suffering. So by building up your character, you're better prepared for these days that come. You're better prepared for the storm. So someone has annoyed you. Do you know now how to respond correctly? Do you know how to make an assessment of this once becoming aware? Do you know where to focus on your internal world, how you respond to it? Do you know what type of person you should be? What things you don't control? Are you aware of the progress you can make by responding in the correct way? And then at the end of the day, just remember, you really don't get long at this life. And, you might not have many days to live and you're wasting 5 of them arguing with some fool at work. You're ruining your character because someone said something silly and you're wasting your time. We don't have long on this earth. Well, Seneca says it's not that we have a short time to live, it's just that we waste so much of it. And you're wasting so much of it being caught up in the games that these silly people play. You need to focus on yourself. You need to focus on your life. Focus on the things that matter. Don't get caught up in the silly things. Focus on the work of your life. And that is it for day 50. Actually, that is it for Stoic School. I was initially going to do 100 episodes of Stoic School. But somewhere along the line, maybe at episode 30, I had a realization that and I got attached to Stoics. I got attached to the idea because I wrote out 108 episodes. I wrote them all out. I've planned them all out. But somewhere along the line, I realized, maybe it was like episode 30, that this isn't the correct format. I'm not getting my point across as well. The constraints of this setup are limiting me. And it's hard to explain that. But when I film my videos, I do my little reels where I'm on a park at night, or I'm in a rainstorm, or I'm sat by my window, or something like that. I just feel like I can get my points across better. I can access some part of me that's unconstrained Now, I'm constrained by the set and constrained by the parameters that we're in. I have certain hours for the schedule, and it's too limiting. The idea is with the newer videos is there'll be ongoing projects, and I've done these before when the thought really comes to my mind and I have to express it. That's when the camera comes out and I'll film the concept, I'll film the idea, and it comes across as way more authentic. I get my greatest thoughts out, because at the moment, if I come here on a Tuesday morning, I've got a lot going on, I'm not getting the best of me across to the viewers, and I just don't think that's fair to you all, and I'm just don't enjoy it as much. It doesn't feel as authentic, and that's what I'm chasing, is that authenticity. But then also I'm introducing people, because like I've worked in the past with people like Shuheng Ye, Amy Morin, Donald Robertson. We've worked with great people on the Everyday Stoic and Mulligan Brothers, and you can learn so much from these people. And I learned so much from these people. And a lot of these people I speak to every day, and I learn a lot from them. And I just thought one day, I was like, why don't I share this with people? The things I'm learning from them, maybe the private conversations, obviously with their permission, but like these private conversations, there's look into these people, these really great people that give amazing advice that we see every day, but rather than them being constrained to a real setup, constrained hours, it's just their inner works on a random Friday night when they phoned me up and said these things, or I've phoned them up and we've gone over something, or I've met up with them and we're going over a topic that we find really interesting. The real authenticity, the ideas that are really meaningful to me and really personal to them. I just think this will be a better way to do it. And, I'm filming 7 episodes a week, which is it's hard. It was hard to write them all, but then it's a lot. It's very constrained. I've got to write them, film them, get them edited, thumbnail, title, uploads, and it's just too constraining. So I did want to get to a milestone though, so like I can have 50 episodes for you to all listen to, and I feel like 50 is a lot. It's very extensive, especially for Stoicism. There's not much on Stoicism, so I think these 50 episodes will be really beneficial for you. And I'm not stopping. I'm just adapting. I'm growing. I've realized that this thing isn't quite working at how I wanted it to, and that's okay. I can let go of the idea that I was going to do 100 episodes, because I don't just want to keep going down the wrong path. But I've learned a lot from this. I've had really great feedback, and I know a lot of people have really enjoyed it. So hopefully, the content coming it'll just be this, but so much better. Similar advice, but just actually real authentic. No constraints. I could be anywhere with anyone, and I think it'll be good. And I know many of you that have supported me for a long time, you'll really like it. So that is it for Stoic School. Thank you for listening. You made it to episode 50. I'm sorry you didn't get to episode 100, and you never will. But, if you're upset by that, it's because you set the expectations thinking you'd get to episode 100. There's the lesson there. But thank you for listening. And if you found Stoic School helpful, please just share it with people, someone who might find it helpful also, or just maybe one of these lessons that might help someone. And if you want to keep learning, then my book, The Everyday Stoic, is available in all good bookstores and online, Amazon.com. Just type in The Everyday Stoic, William Mulligan, and you'll find it. And that's really helpful. That's a great summary of everything you need to know. And it's a lot better than the words I'm saying, because this was years of formulating it in the correct way that's more understandable. And there is an audiobook, it's 4 hours long. So if you want to keep listening to me with a mic in good sounding quality, actually the sound quality is crazy, really good. Penguin did a great job at Mount Street Studios. The teams were amazing, and they kept me so focused for a very long time. It was very long, but very good. So you can listen to that. And thank you. If you made it from day 1 to day 50, leave a comment. I want to know the people that made it all the way and listened to every episode. And this is not the end. Don't get sad. This is just the beginning of, I realize what I really want to do. And maybe I'll be doing that for a while and realize there's something better. But for now, I'm just chasing that authenticity so that I can get these points across to you better and I can give you the best. I think sometimes I've come on here and I've been too busy, but I know I had to get an episode out. Whereas then it should be weekly episodes. So I've got 7 days to formulate things, and then there'll be ongoing projects throughout. So some weeks I'll develop 3 episodes, but I'll release them once a week, and they'll be really well made, really thought out. They'll be edited a little bit, but not too much. It'll still be authentic. You know, it'll be more authentic than this, and it should feel good. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video, which will be good. I can promise you it'll be really good. And I'm hoping to get some really good people involved, just as little like cameos, you know. You're probably wondering how these are going to come across. The idea is formulated. It's all planned and you'll really like it. And it can still be listened to in podcast form. That was the biggest difficulty. So thank you and bye for now.